Hi, in this video, we're going to take a look at how you can use PowerPoint to create a multiple choice quiz for your classes. PowerPoint is traditionally a presentation tool that teachers and all sorts of people use. However, it has a lot of other capabilities as well, including a quiz. So the first thing that we have pulled up here is a blank new presentation. It starts off with a traditional title slide, which you can add the name of your quiz here, as well as your name or a class period or date. And to add a little bit of a visual for students, we are going to insert, go to pictures, and I'm going to go to stock images and just see what I can find relating to my topic. I'm going to locate a picture here and insert that. And it will give you some design ideas over here on the right, but you can also right click on your image, go to Format Picture, and if you go to this far right option here, the picture icon, and open up Picture Transparency, you can adjust the transparency so that way your text will show through. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'm also going to send my picture to the back to see if that will help, but I don't think that changes much. All right, so now we have our title slide, which I'm going to increase the font size a little bit here. Let me highlight everything within there. Get this to be the same size, and I'm also going to increase this as well. All right, so now we have our title slide finished. So now we're going to go ahead and add our questions. So we're going to add a new slide, and I'm going to add a blank slide. There's a couple different ways that quizzes can be created in PowerPoint. We're going to do the way that you can use animation and icons. So we're going to go through that process now. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to add a text box for our questions. I'm just going to highlight this top part, and we're going to enter our question. We also need to add some directions below for students. So choose the answer that you think is correct. Okay, we're going to increase this to make it larger. All right, now we need to add our answer choices. So I'm going to add another text box in this section here, and we're going to add the correct answer plus a few distractors. So I'm going to do 2, 3, 4, and 5, and we'll increase those. Okay, so now we have our answer choices, and I indented them a little bit compared to the question and the directions, because to the left of each answer choice is where we will include an icon. And so let's go through the process of what that means exactly. So under Insert, we're going to go to Icons. The nice thing about icons is it's like a picture, but you can edit and adjust it as though it were text. So I'm going to search for a check mark, because our check mark is going to indicate the correct answer choice. So I'm going to resize this. Let me close out of that. So we're going to resize this and place it next to the correct answer. And I also will right click it, and I want to fill the icon with the color that I want. I'm going to choose green to show that that is the correct answer. And we also need icons to indicate the incorrect answers as well. So we're going to go back to Insert, Icons, and we're going to look for an X. And so there is an X. And I'm going to close this out over here. We're going to drag this over, and I need to resize it to be about the same size. And PowerPoint is great because it will give you those grid lines to show whether it's the same size, which it is. So again, I'm going to right click, and I want to fill this with red to indicate that it is not correct. So I'm going to highlight and click on my X and Control C for copy, and then just paste that and then move it up right in line next to the other answers that are incorrect. Do that for this one here as well. So now I have the 4 answer choices, and I have the icons to show which one is correct. But if you remember, this is supposed to be a quiz. So we don't want students to get to this slide and right away see what answer is correct. And so to hide that or cover it, we are going to go back to insert, and we're going to add some sort of bullet point or circle over those icons. So let's go to the oval option, and we're going to insert an oval that will pretty much cover those icons here. Okay, so once I'm happy with it, I'm going to go ahead and let that go. And you can format this to look however you like. I'm going to format mine to, let's see, just be a basic circle. And I can also go to this outline if I wanted to and make it a little bit heavier weight so it looks more like a bullet point. So that is really up to you what you decide to do. And I'm going to copy that a few times because I want to hide all of these icons here. Okay, so now I have those icons. Now is where animation comes into play. So we're going to go to animations, and we're going to click on this top icon because again it's hiding the X that is below it. And so we're going to go to animations here, and we want this to disappear. So let me open up the animation pane, and we're going to add animation, go underneath exit, and again nothing fancy, we just want this to disappear. And the trigger is going to be on the click of oval 9. And the way I know it's oval 9 is because in the animation pane, it shows me that that's oval 9. Okay, so then it's going to update there. And let's just preview before we go any further because we want to make sure that this is going to work. So if we go into slideshow and we want to play from current slide, and let's click, and then there we go. We can see the X right below. So that's going to work. So now if I go back to animations and I click here, instead of doing that same process, a shortcut is to click Animation Painter. So that way we can apply that same animation to the other icons. So I'm going to click that, and I have a little paintbrush, and then I'm going to click this one, and it's been added into our animation pane. I'm going to click the painter again, click the same, and then click the one below it. And now we can see that it's been added for those. And again, if we want to go back and preview into our slideshow, we can test each of these so that if we're a student, they can again click and see which answers are correct versus incorrect. Okay, so that's our first question. So back in our display here on the left where we see all of the slides, we can simply copy and paste this slide a few times, however many questions you need. And then you can update your question. So now I have my next question, but make sure that you're updating the correct and incorrect answers. So my correct answer this time is not 4, it's going to be 5. So I'm just going to drag those out of the way and reorder a few things here because I need to update the correct answer and drag those back. And I'm just going to preview because I want to make sure I did not mess anything up in the process. So let's go to slideshow from that current slide. So this is the question that I just added, and it is working as expected. So once you have your animation good to go, then you again can just copy and paste and use that same template for the rest of your questions. Just make sure that you are moving these icons out of the way in case you need to change the correct answer, so that way the correct answer is not always in the same location for your students. But this type of multiple choice quiz is a great way that students can self-check, or if you're doing a review in the classroom and you want to have students come up to the board and choose the answer and they get automatic feedback if they're correct or incorrect. If we had more time, we could go through how to add a little text box to the side to give students an explanation in detail about the incorrect answer that they're choosing. But that is the basic way to get started with PowerPoint and making a multiple choice quiz.